What's up, guys? I'm back out here on this tub project, making a little bit of progress, or trying to anyway. Overthinking everything as usual. I've been checking it out. Kind of get some cardboard cutouts, messing with it a little bit, trying to figure out what the best route is. So I'm fighting with myself right now because I'm thinking it might be easier just to cut all these tacks off and scoot it over where it's level, you know, about right there. And then just have a flat piece on the inside, maybe some dimple dyes or something. At the same time, I could make something like this right here. I saw something earlier on I think it was Armadillo Fab or something like that on Facebook. And they had something kind of similar to this right here, but I'll be able to cut this lip off right here and then kind of just turn it, twist it, and make it match this line right here and follow it down. So I got that also. But the problem with scooting it over is, you can see right there, well, kind of see, right in there, you want to scoot that over so far before you're into the part of the AC system. So I'm not sure that's the best way to do it. But I could also notch that one section out if I need to. Let's do the same, pretty much the same thing, just have a little notch where that AC box is. So this side's got some more welding on it done than on one side, but still not that much to cut off. The main problem is just setting all this stuff back up, getting it all back level, and then pretty much restarting completely. So I'm still fighting myself, trying to figure out what the best way to do it is. And either way is going to be quite a bit of work, I think. But that a lot more fab work doing this way right here. That kind of makes me nervous, just because what if I do all that fab work and it still looks like crap when I get done with it, and then there I have wasted, the way things been going, probably wasted 3 weeks of working time on this thing, building some stupid inner fenders when I could have just cut those tacks over there, moved it over 3 inches, and then put a flat panel there. It's wearing on me. I'm thinking, kind of leaning more towards the old cutting it, putting a flat plate in there, honestly, because cutting that lip off and trying to make everything look good, it's going to be quite the task, I think. I'm thinking about it a little more and try to decide what I'm going to do. Well, nothing make a fella feel good, it's quite like moving backwards, so guess it shows what route I took. So I cut all the tacks off, which there was quite a few big tacks on this side, but cut the tacks off. And I guess I'm gonna work on trying to get this rest of this metal out of here, which that's all pretty much tacked on it. Shouldn't be too bad to get out of there. And I made quite a few measurements trying to get all this stuff back in the right spot. So hopefully I can get everything back lined up and won't take quite as much time when I'm trying to, once I get it all set back up, because the way it's gonna sit in there, it's gonna be further inside. Last time I had it sitting on the tire, or I had boards on the tire to space it up. But now it's gonna be probably, you know, somewhere in here. So I mean, it's gonna be way inside the tire. So I have to get a little bit creative. I'm gonna use those boards like I did last time probably. So I'm gonna keep on working on this. Get all that stuff apart. I guess jump on the other side and get it knocked out too. So the other side's got a lot less wheels on it, so I'm gonna try to rig up some kind of jig maybe to, I don't need to go about 3.5 inches further than it was last time, so try to rig up some kind of jig to get it kind of close to the right area. We will see. A couple hours, got this side all cleaned up and all the old wheels pulled over it pretty much. So we'll toss it back on and I guess restart pretty much. So there's any reason to record all the work I've been doing, because I mean, it's the same thing I did on the last video pretty much. I'm just doing it all over again, but you can see right here, I had to do some rigging to get this thing held up in the air where I wanted it to stay. So I got that piece held up about where I wanted it, and at the angle I wanted, make sure everything was level. I got some pieces of metal, tacked it in. Start on the other side, same thing, same process, and got it up to where it's all tacked together pretty good. So I haven't made a lot of progress really, but I got this little template that he cut out. So I'm going to go inside of here. Kind of got marked where it's going to go, so it'll be close to looking right. But something like that, kind of. I want this removable so I can, I'm not taking stuff apart on the motor very often, but if I have to, it will be nice to be able to get to, stuff over here, sensors in the back, even bell housing bolts I can probably get to from in here if I need to. So I'm gonna start it right there, and then the other part I've been trying to figure out is kind of this right here. I might want to just stop it right there because you can see it. Plus, if you don't put something right here, it's gonna throw water and mud into this pocket in here. So got this piece of cardboard, kind of just flexible. I got it about where it will kind of go up inside that fender, kind of, and then maybe match the curb. That length right there. So I'm gonna go cut this and cut a sheet of metal. Here's my first template I cut out. Pretty rough. Just kind of want to get an idea how big it needed to be. Just went ahead and made a template kind of just to go around the tower and stuff. There's my, final template, I guess. Still needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but it kind of outlines everything. Should be able to get to all the bolts and stuff on top. And I don't have to take those out very often, but I want to be able to make it serviceable because stuff's going to break, obviously. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to have to clean it up. Some of these little edges, I'm going to try to round them over and just got to trim that out and stuff, but for the most part, looks a lot better. And on the front side over here, I'm probably going to just leave it this same height right here. I'll probably just round this up the corner over and kind of bring it back around to that. Make it kind of smooth. There is the passenger side. Just looking under here, you can see I got 5 blue marks in there. So that's going to be the mounting tabs for the inside panel here. So I'm going to have these tabs welded on there, something kind of like that. And then we'll drill these out to a 1/4 20. It's at 3/16 right now or something. I'm gonna drill these out to a 1/4 20 and then weld 1/4 inch nail on the back side before I put them under there. But got 10 of these, and it would take a while to make these by hand. So I went ahead and ordered some from Summit. Actually for like a window frame. Looks like doing Lexan windows, but for $8, save a whole lot of time. So I'm gonna get a drilling these out, I reckon. Got all the holes drilled out, about a 1/4 inch. Got one of them set up right here. Throw the bolts there, get the nut halfway tight. This one stays flush with the metal, and I'll put a couple good tacks on it. Got all those welded up. It'll take about 30 minutes, so not too bad, too terrible. The wheels look like garbage. It'll work just fine. This is what I got right now. I got it kind of shimmed up, pretty even in there. Kind of bulked it up a little bit. I got to trim some stuff up, obviously around the corners, but then I got it marked. Can't really see it, but marked on the outside edge. So it'll match that perfectly. If it doesn't match that, it's gonna look like crap from the inside. Get that cleaned up, fitting real good, then I'll probably start working on those tabs and nuts on. So I was gonna do those tabs and weld all that stuff up, put them on the inside and cut that piece of the inside out, but I figured I better go ahead and fully weld all this stuff just in case it shifts a little bit. I don't want to cut that inside panel out and it'd be the wrong shape, so I went ahead and started fully welding all this stuff up on the driver's side fender. So I got pretty much everything on the outside welded up. On the inside, I got that lip cut off. That was on the inside of this trailer fender right here. And I got a lot of it smoothed up. Still gotta do a little work on it, but most of that's done. And I guess once I smooth, so I get this little lip, rest of this smoothed out. So I go back here and make that little bend right here. So I won't throw any mud off in this pocket right here. There's a pocket instead of there. I don't really want to throw mud all up in there or on the body mount and stuff, so. Make a little piece right there, weld up there, and then bend back. Slowly but surely. Hopefully that fan isn't too loud. It's about 120 degrees in the shop, feels like, but I got this piece right here. That piece of crowbar is gonna bend up, so I got it kind of measured up, marked out on there. I'm gonna attempt to match this right here and try to have it kind of gradually go smooth right there, but we'll see what happens. So I measured from that corner right there all the way right here. And I went ahead and ran this corner too, so I could account for that metal right there. And I went 6 3/4. Here's what it should stop about right in there somewhere probably. Should be pointed, it should cover up where no mud or anything flies in that hole. So I'm gonna cut this rectangle out and attempt to bend it. Here's the attempt I'm gonna make. I got it lined up. I got straight right here off this factory edge. And I got the seam marked out. So that's where the bend's gonna start right there. So that should be, it should come up. The bend's gonna start about right there, probably somewhere in there. So I measured out. So I'm gonna attempt to bend it like this and try to match this radius right here. Should match pretty good. And let's see what happens. So I clamped down pretty good, I think. Oh, the middle of my hand, I think it's gonna be too cut a bit on my hand. Maybe not. I think it started my hand. There's a perfect there. Kind of bow out right here. I'm going to plank in the middle of it, I guess. It'll hold it well. It's not even on the center line, so I don't think it's going to hold too great. It's all right. This isn't perfect by any means, but I can get this right here. This not going to be flat. I can put it right here and work on it. Get it flattened back out with a different hammer. I'll figure out what kind of angle I want. So usually I'm trying to find an angle or something. So I get it straight up. But so I want to kind of match this angle right here. So that's about 67 degrees right there. That's about 4. Four to 5, so 67 minus 5, that's gonna be about, that's about a 62 degree angle. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, something like 62. That'll be close enough, I think. So it's 35 down. That's about 20 up. So that's about 50 degrees, I guess. 35. And you'll add the 20, so about 55 degrees. About 62, so I'm gonna add, knock this down just a little bit further. That should be good, get close to about 62. Keep on tapping on a little bit. I'm slowly tapping. You don't want to just whack that crap out of it, you know what I mean? Because you're going to put big divots in there. It's going to be all wavy. So if you just kind of massage it into place a little bit at a time, slowly work your way there, it'll be a lot better at the end. What it looks like. Say 35, 35. 24. 58. 35, 24. Just 59 degrees. Okay. That's about 59. This is a little bit more. Good enough up there. 35 still. $35, 29, so that's about 65 degrees. Mine went a little over, I think. It's gonna be a big deal. Plus, when I try to flatten this out on this anvil, what are you gonna call it? Might pull up a bit anyway, but looks pretty good. That's all right. That was pretty good, I think. Anyways, that'll be. I mean, that'll be far enough back and deflect everything from falling in there, but it should be fine. It should work good. I guess I'm gonna attempt to make this right here now. Try to radius that a little bit. I reckon. A little more difficult. All right, so I just tossed this together right here. So this is gonna be like just a form, set in the middle with. So this right here, this piece of pipe fits this contour pretty good. So pick that up. Like I just got in wet. It's like it's still hot. So pick that up, drop it in there, something like that. Clamp that down. Now something to form my metal over. Should hold pretty good. Hold that metal over there like that. Hammer on it, form it. I want it as big as if I had it. Just this in the vise, it wouldn't hold it very tight, and the metal would be so close to the vise, I wouldn't really be able to bend it much. This is gonna go up like this on the fender. So this end right here needs to be curled out. It'll be curled down like this. That's what I need to do. I'm gonna tap on this a little bit and see if I can get it where I want it. We're in here about 2 inches. Little bit needs to start. Close enough. Alright, so it needs to bend down. Okay. Test fit over here, see what it looks like. Looks pretty close. Maybe a little bit of a different radius, but I'll still to work it back into place as I'm building it. As you can see inside of here, the fender tapers that way. I'll trim that off. The contour matches pretty good for these two pieces. Still cut that piece right there off all the way back, and I'm not going to do that yet, but I got to figure out a way to cut that off the rest of the way. So I got to trim that up right there so to match the contour of the fender on the inside. Still quite a bit of ground left to do on here. I'll go ahead and jump on these. Right here, these little tabs. Just make them all about even as far as how far they are from the lip right here. So I just put a socket in here. If I can get a full socket on there. All the sockets touching this piece right here. So I'm gonna get all these welded in, get all 5 of them. I got all the other marks in place, the blue marker. So knock all these out real quick. There we go, we got driver's side tabs welded in. And then while I was thinking about it, I went ahead and welded up this piece right here. I had cut that out originally as a clearance for this piece right here when I was test fitting. I'm going to have to make a little bracket for it. It comes out flat eventually, but right now I'm just going to weld that up. So there's that. Still got a bunch of grinding to do on here, all these welds, and should be pinholes to fill and stuff like that. So, but it's 12:30 at night, so I'm gonna not be grinding a bunch right now because it'll be too loud. We're tonight, so to make some progress. So I got, that was a small hole. I drilled it out with the Christmas tree bit, uni bit, whatever you want to call it. Drilled it out pretty big. I got this washer. I tacked it on there and moved it around, make sure it was square with the sides. This tubing, load it in there. And then, so I still got to clean all that up obviously, but that part on there. I did some adjusting on this little transition piece, I guess you'd call it. Got it all welded in. I was gonna weld it up here too, but I figured it might need a little bit of flex in the fender, so I trimmed it out where it wouldn't rattle or anything. It should be good there. Went ahead and welded these holes up. So these were extra self-tapper holes I was using when I was holding it in place. And then these are the original holes that I put in there. That's before I screwed the whole thing over that way. Yep, got a whole lot of cleaning up to do, but I believe I got 95% of the welding done on this fender, so good progress. Still gotta trim this piece up too and get it squared off of that. That won't take very long though. Probably not much has changed, but got the little piece over there. rounded it off, it looks a little better. And I cleaned up a lot of the welds. I'm still gonna go back and weld some pinholes and stuff. A little bit of body work, or as far as like metal shaping, a bunch of little divots in there. I kind of fixed some of those. Welded some of these holes up that I don't need. I thought about welding all these holes up. There's no point in shaving all of these. I mean, well, I need that one, but no point in shaving all these holes. I mean, that'll be more work than it's worth, I think. Especially you do all that to make that look pretty, and you got this big, ugly box for way anyway. So I mean, that's a waste of time, I feel like. I'm gonna test fit it and make sure everything's like I want it to be. Make sure that bolt hole lines up with that. I don't need it larger or anything. Guess I'll toss it on there. There it is, kind of just toss stuff in there. You can see right there. It meets with that bracket pretty good. Look down here and see if we got everything lined up right. You can see that hole right there. That sucker's lined up just right inside that circle right there. So that's pretty good. Yeah. So I'll probably end up enlarging that. There's a little bit of a ridge right there. I'll probably end up enlarging that just to make sure I have plenty of room. And I may go ahead and drill that washer out just a little bit too, just in case I need to tweak it a little bit. I'm thinking this is the right shim. It looks like it's lined pretty good. As far as this little shim under here. Make sure the height's right. Yep, that looks decent, I think. Got the fender most of the way bolted up. Work on these inner tubs. Looks like I got bolts in here. That lined up good right there, that bolt did. So, working on this inner panel right here now. I marked it, marked the holes. I was like, man, I need to really put it as low as I can. I want to. So I went about eighth inch up from where I marked this hole, drilled it. So then I did remark these. I jumped the gun on that. I should have, I guess, tacked these in first, but I gotta cut that off and move it up. I think that'd be easier to move it up here than having to add on to that and try to make it blend. Maybe. But I'll mark this around here, mark it real good, and I guess drill the rest of the holes out and start cutting it out. So I finally got the tub in about the right spot it's gonna be in, pretty close to it. Had a look at the old battery mount. So I have these bolts down here, tightened up. It's just a factory mount. Got those tightened up. Trying to figure out what kind of distance I'm gonna have, what kind of gap it would be. So I'm gonna measure that gap right there. And I was gonna make a spacer, honestly, just for this. I was gonna rebuild it, put all the ridges in there like the factory one has. I'll try to pull it out and show. We're gonna do something with all the ridges, you know. I gotta look at the factory one, kind of try to, I don't know, lengthen it, try to add some length somewhere in here. But realistically, I think it'd be smarter just to that gap right there and just build a little, I still gotta measure it, but build a little spacer right there. That should be plenty strong enough. Might get some longer bolts. Make sure there's plenty of thread engagement, but I mean, it shouldn't be an issue, I don't think. Alright, so that gap right there, it's the gap I need to take up. So I was gonna build something, I was gonna cut some metal out or something like that, but I figured put some washers, stack them up, did that right. So I got that 3/16 plate I had. Stack a few washers up, boom. That's all I needed right there. So there's a battery extension bracket, what we're gonna call it, spacer. That should work just fine, I think. There it is installed. Still some cleanup to do, obviously, but I think it should do what I need it to do. I pulled this inner panel out probably 15 times, but I'm trying to get this gap right. Want a little gap in there just in case this flexes a little bit. Maybe there's something, I don't know. Give a little bit of wiggle room, a pretty even gap all the way around it. So I'm going for, I got it marked up. I'm gonna trim this off right here. I'm gonna pull the whole fender off, trim that up, smooth it around so it kind of flows a little better. I think I can pull that fender back off now and do some more welding on it. Here's a tub. So well, this welds almost like crap, I know it does, but here's what it is. This is galvanized from the factory, so it's kind of hard to weld anyway. But some hammer dolly work, got it smoothed out. About as good as I'm gonna do, the skills I have, so. Guess a Bondo and paint didn't make me the body man I ain't, I guess. But as good as you're gonna get right now, I think. On the passenger side here, and the mount for this one is a little bit further back, so I ended up having to slot that out. I'm gonna put that on there, something similar to that. We have a pocket so I can get that bolt to go back into that bracket right there. Clean up a little bit more and I'm gonna weld it up. There's that rascal all welded up, cleaned up a little bit. Look at the inside of it. That's that pocket right there I was talking about. Kind of cut out so you can get a bolt in there. Make it a little bit easier. Still plenty of cleaning up to do, but that's most of the metal work done. So off camera, I did quite a bit of work on this driver's side. I got the inner panel made out, got those tabs welded on the inside. Got it all bolted up, test fit. It all seems to be working pretty good. Looks like I got all these tabs on the inside welded in. Get that filter panel cleaned up pretty good. As far as that gap goes, I do not like how that looks. Might have to do something with that, but all that's in there. So most of the metal work, if not all the metal work's pretty much done, besides as far as like making it look pretty. I'm gonna go through and fix these spots like this right here, try to clean them up, fill all the holes in, do some hammer and dolly, I'm sure, to get everything lined back out, so I can grind those wheels down. But that's the major part of the work is done, I think. So this project took way longer than it probably should have. I mean, with the stuff I have, the skills I have, tools I have, it's kind of hard to make everything like I really wanted it to look, but I think this is a happy medium, having removable panels and having it look fairly decent, straight. And I think this right here should work just fine for a good street cruiser. Feels good to have these things bolted in, welded up. So most of the fabrication's done. Just gotta start doing on paint. So I'll get these things primed up, seam sealed, all that stuff, and hopefully get everything painted before the middle of September. That's the goal. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but I'm trying to go to a show. It's the third week of September. I'll try to throw the flyer up on here if I can find it. And that's what I'm shooting for. Like I said, if I don't make it, it's been another deadline missed. I mean, I won't really lose anything. I don't really have any commitments to it, but that's what I'd like to do. I've got a couple other guys going to that show that I'd like to cruise up there with. So hopefully I can make that. We'll see what happens. Thank y'all for checking it out. And I'll see you on the next one.